we keep you informed.
Citizen FM Abuja. Now we be the voice of the people. All right, it's a beautiful morning in the city of Abuja. 8 minutes actually past 7, and today's Tuesday. Welcome to the Super Citizen newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. My name is Lawrence Omoiti. I hope you had a swell time with Triple A. Don't worry. At the top of the hour, Triple A will resume his thing with you. But for now, let's look at what is trending on the pages of the newspapers. And we start off with the Guardian newspaper. We'll run through the headlines as usual, and later on we will look at some of the stories in details. All right, we start off with the Guardian newspaper now, and let's with the story: Northern leaders suspend mining, back state police to tackle insecurity. And despite state historic liability court, national public debt rises to 152 trillion naira. And for some politics now, Osun 2026, I'm ready to work with Omisore, others to unseat Adeleke Oyebamichi. That's the politics of Osun State there. Court adjourns arraignment of NISCG, others for perversion of justice. And struggle for Tinubu's favor ignites power tussle in Abia. Adeleke quits PDP hours before Osun governorship primary. And Sani proposes 985 billion naira for 2026 budget for Kaduna State. And still staying with the Guardian newspaper, Kwara's integrated water system gets global recognition. An envoy reaffirms robust ties with Nigeria, highlights broad growth. And report VIPs with police escorts presidency. Okay. A Cameroonian opposition leader dies in detention. And on coup, Nigeria grants asylum to Guinea-Bissau's opposition candidate. And Nigeria loses $10 billion to post-harvest losses yearly. And Bauchi treats 29,000 HIV patients as group takes campaign to Kefi. Resident doctors issue fresh strike notice, demand execution of MOU. And heather killed, cattle poisoned in Plateau community. Man jailed 21 months for 50 million naira fraud. An expert urged early intervention to curb depression among men. A 4 dead, 17 injured in Katsina, triple road crashes. Very sad one there. And Nigerian startup builds AI to aid real-time content authentication. All right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now, and let's read the story on in the security. Northern governors OK State Police suspend mining. And Governor Adeleke resigns from PDP. Defense Minister Abubakar Badru resigns. Okay. Ex-manager confirms two Babas arrest in London. That's for some entertainment news there. And on terrorism, US, France, UK backing Nigeria with technical support, Ribadu. Nigeria should not be importing fuel. We have capacity to meet local demand. Okay, federal government offers 50 oil blocks, target $10 billion investment. And Boko Haram conflicts, not religious crisis. That's from the governor of Adamawa State. And Amechi rolls out VP slot, insists is running for president in 2027. And 2027, IBB gives Turaki tough mandates to rebuild PDP. And Jonathan braves Tinubu on Guinea-Bissau election. ACF denies endorsing amnesty or payment to terrorists. Governor Oti visits Nnamdi Kanu prison, assures of administrative resolution. Residents slam Cross River government as refuse takes over streets in Calabar. All right, we move on to this day newspaper now, and it starts with the story. NUPRC targets $10 billion investment, lists 50 oil gas blocks in new licensing rounds. And Defense Minister Badru resigns. Tinubu considers likely replacement. Okay. All right, we move on to the Tribune newspaper now. Confusion as PDP NWC Osun chapter differs on governorship primaries. And Governor Adeleke resigns from PDP. And Minister of Defense, we've heard that Baduri Abubakar resigns. The cable newspaper is next now. Adeleke resigns from PDP over leadership crisis. Northern governors unveil $1 billion monthly security trust fund to tackle insecurity. And Obasanjo willing to testify in Mambila power contract trial. EFCC witness tells cut. And South Africa begins use of groundbreaking HIV prevention drug. Nigeria's GDP rate grew by 3.98% in the third quarter, says NBS. That's the National Bureau for Statistics. And abducted Nigeria school children doing fine. They will soon return. Who is saying this? That's the NSA, National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu. And CBN, BUA, NPA, FBN, companies, MDAs listed among Abuja land charges defaulters. All right, we move on to the New Telegraph now. Let's start from this. Defense Minister Badure resigns. Okay. And Tinubu acknowledges Ghana's decades of active service to Nigeria at 80. Guinea-Bissau, Nigeria. Okay. Fubara pledges to prioritize education in 2026 budget. The Nation newspaper is next now. Northern governors seek suspension of mining for 6 months to end insecurity. EFCC opens month-long probe into Malami's assets. Security operatives closing on abductors of Niger purpose. Senate may pass pension reform amendment bill today. Okay, let's move on to the Punch newspaper now. Ex-CDS Irabo dismisses Boko Haram's recruitment claim. Northern governors demand mining suspension, unveiled 228 billion naira security fund. And Nigerians abroad demand actions on passport NIN delays. Governor Ododo introduces regulated hours for social religious gathering. Aviation tax removal requires government consensus, says Kayamo. And Tinubu plans replacement as defense minister resigns. PDP crisis, Osun governorship primary collapses. Kefas embraces APC. Abure kicks as LP faction claims court stopped nationwide Congress. And Adeleke dumps PDP, blames party national crisis. All right, we move on to pen pushing now. Before we go on a break, the lead story here. Okay, on penpushing.com, Uncle Nigeria grants asylum to Guinea-Bissau's opposition presidential candidate. And still staying with pen pushing, we have this story here. Pen pushing media is a epitome of responsible journalism globally, says Professor Wally Shoinka. And for more on the stories there, you can check out the front page of penpushing.com, your source of authentic news globally. All right, we'll take a short break now, and when we return, we'll go straight into the second half of the show. It's still Super Citizen Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja. Don't go away, the program returns in a moment.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
It ain't a man's world. No more sugar and spice.
Every woman has a voice, and every voice deserves to be heard. Listen to She Factor every Mondays and Wednesdays, 1 p.m. on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. The show that celebrates women of purpose, power, and influence. Join me as I sit down with remarkable women across Nigeria and abroad, sharing real stories, real lessons, and real inspiration. She Factor, where strong women ally.
studio. The phone lines are open now. You can join the conversation 0903 22297 You can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of the two numbers and we will read out your message. All right, Mr. Salami is in the studio now. Good morning, Mr. Salman Salame.
Good morning to you, Lawrence, and very good morning to you, our super citizen listeners.
All right, we will be looking at the stories in detail. This is the part where Mr. Salami will help us look at some of the stories. Mr. Salami, let's start with the story on security from the Guardian newspaper. Northern leaders suspend mining, back state police to tackle insecurity. And the story has it that confronted by a surge in killings, abduction and illegal mining, northern leaders have mounted an unprecedented joint response, backing state police, imposing mining suspensions and urging unity as they insist that coordinated, decisive measures are now essential to salvage the region's security and stability. Governors of the 19 states and the region's traditional rulers council arrived at the decision following an emergency joint meeting held yesterday in Kaduna State. Mr. Salami.
I think we get to the end of the problem. I've always been saying it that the solution for all the problems we have is essentially with us and not beyond us. That is if we are really, really ready to tackle the problem confronting the nation. Yes, a coordinated approach like this is likely to bring succor, not only because of the meeting, but because of the political will and the resolve and the desire to own security. We've been saying it from time immemorial, that security is everybody's business. The insurgency, like I've been saying, is being carried out by people. They are not ghosts. People are helping them to fuel their vehicles. People are helping them in feeding the transportation. Even if it's by air, it means there is a pilot involved. In all these atrocities, people are involved and people are seeing things. For how long are we going to continue to say that when you see something, say something? In fact, it has peaked in the last few weeks, if not months, in such a way that it is one day, one atrocity or heinous crime. For how long are we going to continue like this? Good morning, the governors.
Good morning. Well, for me, I think, well, it's never too late, Mr. Salami. And people say that anytime you wake up, that's your morning. But it's never really too late to join the train. But for me, I think it goes beyond accepting or supporting the call for state police. A lot of people do not know that state police comes with a lot of responsibility, both financial and in terms of personnel, and also in terms of integrity, in terms of the desire to do what is right. You see, for long, there's been arguments for and against, but we all know that at a certain point in our life, we will have to go that route. No matter how we postpone it, no matter how we dilly-dally, as long as we say that we are a federation, we will get to the stage where we involve state police. But it's one thing to owe pensioners years of pension you don't pay, you owe civil servants you don't pay, you have problems with doctors, teachers can go on strike for 6 months, you don't pay. But that will not be visible when you have state police. They need to be paid on time because these are guys who will be armed, who will be trained. So as you are looking for ways to solve situation, also know that it comes with a lot of responsibility. Are we prepared? Are these states prepared? Okay.
I didn't talk about the state police matter. That is sad, but I need to say one thing or the other. You see, this idea of thinking that that to every problem, there's just one solution to it. It is not feasible. To begin to think that immediately we have state police, our problems will vanish. It's a delusion, if not of grandeur. It is a delusion of such. You see, like we rightly pointed out, there are enormous responsibility attached to having state police. These are people you will harm or you give weapons to. These are people that will be well trained. Essentially, these are people with the Nigerian attitude to issues. And these are people who already have their own idea of how things are done, should be done, or ought to be done. Lawrence, I am of the view that, yes, state police, desirable, but have we resolved all the necessary issues surrounding the creation or establishment of state police? Apart from that, I am of the strong view that we should empower the police as we have it. We should give them all the necessary infrastructure, all the weapons they will need, all the necessary tools they will need to perform, and motivate them. That is the starting point. I'm not saying that at the end of the day we will not need state police, but the one we have, let us strengthen that first and see how it goes before we now dabble into this, which comes with its own peculiarities and problems.
Okay, Mr. Salami. Meanwhile, the phone lines are open. You can join us. Call us on 0903 2229 or you can call us on 0818 2222 Mr. Salami, let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it is now. It is unanimous. The other day, the Southern governors threw their hearts into the ring and accepted that now the Northern governor. So I think we are set. It's just one looking at how to amend the necessary aspect of our constitution and then put in place processes to start the implementation. As you said, it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not something that will just be signed into law. Oh, from today we have state police. No, a lot will need to be put in place. Power sharing will need to be done strictly, and that will also be a constitutional affair because there has to be the powers and limits of the state police, and you also have the powers and limits of the federal police, just that is done in other parts of the country. But my concern is that for a lot of these governors who are really, really clamoring for it, for obvious reasons, they should know that it goes beyond having the powers to deploy policemen. It goes beyond having the powers to muscle, perceive an imaginary enemies in the state. It goes beyond all those things. There is a lot of responsibility. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Lawrence.
Good morning, sir.
You're doing well, please. I want to buttress what our elderly person in the studio is talking about. I'm talking about Mr. Salami.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is on the line, please?
Yes, my name is Oluwatosin from Gwagwalada.
Okay, Tosin, good to have you. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. For heaven's sake, it's a good thing. It is of great flamboyancy when you talk of state policing. It's good. But the attitude of Nigerians, what I can term reorientation. We need to reorientate Nigerians properly. Those people who are going to be inside that attire or what to call a police uniform are Nigerians. As the question is, as the attitude of Nigerians, is it changing day by day? That is one. And secondly, unemployment in the nation, which everybody has always talked about, that can always bring the idea of this banditry. Let the government look in that direction. When you give police, or you create state police, and a lot of the generality of the population is in a great unemployed situation. Please, the government should look in that direction. Without employment, we will be creating so much in Nigeria. State policing is fine, good, but one, the attitudes, orientations, let Nigeria know that security is not about state policing alone. It's about all of us. And again, unemployment, government should work towards it to reduce it at least in a very to a minimum level in Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tosin. Mr. Salami. Okay, let's move on to this story that has also dominated the media space since yesterday when the story broke, and that's the resignation of the Minister of Defense. And the cable newspaper has the story, Baduru resigns as Defense Minister, cite health reason. Mohammed Baduru, Minister of Defense, has resigned his appointment with immediate effect. He announced his resignation in a letter sent to President Bola Tinubu, citing health reasons. Mr. Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, said in a statement on Monday that the President accepted the resignation and thanked him for his service to the nation. The President will likely inform the Senate of Baduru's successor later this week. Baduru is 63, two-term governor of Jigawa State from 2015 to 2023, who was appointed minister on August 21st by President Bola Tinubu. His resignation comes amidst President Tinubu's declaration of a national security emergency, with plans to elaborate on its scope in due course. Salami.
Well, the erstwhile Minister of Defense tendered his resignation, citing health reasons. It's simple at that. If your health is not particularly good, of course, you can't do anything if you are not healthy. That is the end of that. But the question now is this. How do we rate his tenure? It is unarguable that it was littered with so many. Let's leave that one too, because it is neither here nor there.
Okay.
But like lawyers will say that res ipsa loquitur, that the fact speaks for itself. But the most important question now is this: who comes in now as the next Minister of Defense? The Defense Ministry is a very critical ministry that has to be manned by persons or by a person who understands defense architecture or the security need of this country at this particular time. We do not need somebody who will begin to learn on the job. We need somebody who understands what is to be done and is ready to do what is to be done. And again, for the Mr. President to have the political will to allow whoever is the minister to operate intellectually and optimally. I have an advice for Mr. President. The Minister of Defense does not necessarily need to be a politician. It is no more job for my friends. It is job for Nigeria. It is the need of the country that should be taken care of. Yeah, you could say that, yes, there are professionals who will handle issues. The fact remains that the minister is the number one man in that defense ministry. And you go to people for advice, not decision. He's the one who will articulate all that the submissions and get it across to Mr. President, as it were. Then you cannot inform if you are not informed too. You must have an idea of what the security situation is all about and what we should be done what should be done at any particular time. In this wise, I would suggest to Mr. President that he should look elsewhere. They are retired generals, and I want them to work with the serving officers in such a way that we will put this insurgency, kidnapping, and terrorism behind us. We need those who understand the terrain.
Mr. Salami, it seems as if you already have a candidate you want to start to, Mr. President. But well, then that's okay. But you said something about the defense minister shouldn't be a politician. Mr. Salami, the moment you are a minister, you're already a politician, no matter the position you hold. You understand? First and foremost, Mr. President is the number one minister of defense. He's the minister of education. He's the minister of health. He's the minister of all sectors. He just delegates these responsibilities to the ministers, and that's it. So for me, it's neither here nor there whether the Minister of Defense is a retired general or not. We need a blend of somebody who understands security matters and somebody who understands the political terrain. Very important, because one aspect alone cannot solve the problem. If you are the best in terms of military knowledge and terrain, but you are a poor politician, you are a poor manager of men and resources, you don't know how to navigate the Nigeria is such a complex system. It's not gray, white or black. It is not they or us. Nigeria is not like that. There are a lot of other interests you need to navigate at that level. So you need somebody who is vast, somebody well connected, somebody who has friends across the country, somebody who knows how to reach out to people to sell ideas. And I'm sure the president, he has the capacity as the commander-in-chief. He has the resources at his disposal to look for people, to have access to people, to have people to be recommended to him. He has that capacity. So I'm not in doubt that the president will look for a fitting replacement. It's in his best interest, because if at the end of the day he gets in somebody who doesn't perform well, the buck stops at his table at the end of the day. But for us, the major concern of a lot of Nigerians is how do we solve the security situation in Nigeria? Whoever is there, if it's performing well, we are fine with that. It's not, it's the politicians that would normally be thinking about other things. But for us, first and foremost, let's halt the carnage. Let's get our country back. It's very, very important.
Let's get our country back. That's right.
Yes. All right, Mr. Salami, let's go back to some kind of politics. We've spoken a lot about security matters, but a lot is also happening on the political scene. Osun State, we heard of the resignation of the governor of Osun State from the PDP, but let's look at how the Punch newspaper has the story. PDP crisis, Osun governorship primary collapses, Kefa embraces APC. The crisis rocking the PDP was on the Monday as Osun State chapter announced the cancellation of its scheduled December 2 governorship primary, while one of its prominent governors, Abdul Kavas of Taraba State, met President Bola Tinubu after aligning with the APC, announcing the abortion of the primaries in Oshogbo. The state's PDP chairman said the party could no longer proceed with the exercise due to turmoil at the national level. And this chairman further disclosed that Adeleke might withdraw from seeking the PDP ticket. That has already happened. And let's take another story related to that, but from the cable newspaper. Adeleke resigns from PDP over a leadership crisis. We understand that Ademola Adeleke, governor of Osun State, has resigned his membership of the PDP in a statement issued by Olawale Rasheed, his spokesperson. Adeleke announced his resignation in a letter addressed to the chairman of his ward. In the letter, he attributed his exit to the crisis within the national leadership of the party. Mr. Salami, they say when it rains, it pours.
Well, we saw it coming. And to quite many of us who are political reporters of note, we know that it will get to this level. It has gotten to this level, yes. The governorship primary was to start today, was to commence today. And I saw it that the political crisis in the party might consume him. You should realize that he was not at the convention in Ibadan. And what did that tell you? You should also realize that he had made moves. Of course, he had. On 2 occasions to move to APC. Right? But the powers that be in APC will not want him. And it got to a level that he was at the home of Mr. President with Davido, his nephew. You see, what is playing out is simple. The opposition party in Osun State, they are getting stronger. Rightly or wrongly, they do not want the sitting governor to come. If he does, he becomes the leader of the party.
The party in the state.
In the state.
Yeah.
And getting the ticket is a foregone thing. And they, rightly or wrongly, are of the view that without Adeleke, they could win the election. Right? Don't forget that Iyolo Mishore is there. And it's a factor in the Ife axis. Don't forget that some people are leaving PDP for APC. Don't also forget that the Honorable Minister of Marine Economy, Marine and Blue Economy,
it's still a strong force.
It's a force to be reckoned with. And he surrendered, or he, as it were, told in the interest of his party, said that he will not contest again. And they are shopping for a credible candidate. Don't forget too that over the years, the past 3 years, Adeleke must have offended some people. And of course, he must have as well gratified, taking care of the interest of some people. It is neither here nor there. But the fact still remains that it's not wanted in ADC, APC. He knows the situation in PDP. And where will he go? If he goes to ADC, he will meet Aregbesola there. He has Aregbesola to contend with. Well, don't let me play the oracle.
Well, I guess the ADC and other parties will be glad to have a sitting governor in their midst, if not for anything, for the financial muscle that the sitting governor is coming in at the end of the day. But as you said, it's too early in the day to make that call. Let's see how it goes. But whatever it is in the next couple of days, we are going to know where it's at, because primaries are
He has
coming
no
up.
time on his side.
Primaries are coming. And you see, when there are crises in a political party, especially at the national level, the implications are far-reaching. Because it's the governor is every politician is smart, no matter how you look at them. He has looked at it and said, if I stay in PDP, and at the end of the day, the case gets to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decides that, oh, this faction is the authentic faction or a leader of the party, and that faction wasn't the faction that conducted my primaries, so automatically you lose out. So, and politicians always try to protect their interests, as we say. And still talking about political parties, Mr. Salami, let's move on to the Labour Party. It's been a while that we talked about the Labour Party, but they are also in the news. And Abure kicks as LP faction claims court stop nationwide Congress. A faction of the Labour Party loyal to the Abia State Governor, Alex Otti, and former presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has reportedly obtained the court order halting the nationwide congresses planned by the Julius Abure-led National Convention. or National Working Committee. The injunction said to have been issued by an Abia State High Court in Isi-Alalangwa on November the 26th was announced in a statement on Monday. According to the statement, the court restrained Abure and his illegal National Working Committee from going ahead with the purported and unlawful ward local government and state congresses. Mr. Salami, before you react, you know why I'm laughing? Is it a coincidence that this court order came from Abia State, just like the one we had in PDP, when that counter order came from Oyo State? You see the connection.
You see, it is a telling.
Sad.
It is sad. It is telling, and it is a sad reminder of what happened in the past. A situation where politicians go a shopping for a favorable order from a willing judge, and of course, a judge in a state high court is likely to give judgment that is favorable to the governor, and that is why there has always been an order and a counter order from courts of coordinate jurisdiction. A federal high court and a state high court, they are of coordinate jurisdiction, and no one binds the other. So it only means that the judiciary has to look inward. There is the need for a rethink on the side of the judiciary. Whether we like it or not, all is not well with our judiciary, especially as it regards conflicting judgments from courts of coordinate jurisdiction. Now, to the issue of LP and the purported judgment from
court order.
Purported order from Abia State High Court. Well, whether we like it or not, even an order wrongly given is an order. If it has not been vacated. If you appeal against it, it's still an order. Unless it is vacated. An appeal in itself is not necessarily an order.
It's not a stay.
It's not a stay. It's not a stay. So as it is, the position is clear. I will leave it at that.
Yes, and that's why I normally tell our new prof in INEC that his job is cut out for him. These are issues that sometimes when they drag into the election, it makes nonsense of whatever preparation that INEC has done. You can imagine 2 days to election and the court will give you an order that, oh, this candidate is no longer candidate of this political party, drop it. You know what that means in terms of logistics and everything. But Mr. Salami, let's go back to this security story. I just can't help but I think we should just look at it. Ribadu, that's the National Security Advisor, is saying abducted Niger schoolgirls doing fine, they'll return soon. The National Security Advisor says pupils and staff abducted from St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School are in good condition and will soon be reunited with their families. Yes, I picked this story. I get it that it's always, it's sometimes good to give hope to people. But who Mr. Salami, who does fine in captivity?
Lawrence, I wanted to say that they were in Sheraton or Transcorp. You see, there is a need for us to be mindful of how we communicate. I am happy that I trust you anyway, news judgment, because there is no way we will go without talking about that. How will a national security advisor say that abducted are doing fine? Where they are, Abi? So Sheraton, there is no way they will do fine. And that is not how to talk to the parents. Yes, there is a need to make them feel okay, to calm their nerves and assuage. But there is a need for constructive and strategic communication. He's not a communicator, I know. I know he's a lawyer and he's a policeman. But there is the need for strategic communication in such a way that you don't trivialize an issue. The parents are distraught. It is a trauma that their words are not with them. It is more saddening that where they are in the hands of
Beast.
God bless you. And you now say that when you are in the hands of beast, you will do fine. Yes, they are, because that is non-conducive.
All right, this is Salami. Before we go, let's look at this story from New Telegraph. Tinubu acknowledges Ghana's decades of active service to Nigeria at 80. President Bola Tinubu has acknowledged his statesman, academician, and politician, Professor Jerry Ghana's decade of active service in Nigeria's socio-political landscape as he clocked 80. According to a release by presidential spokesman, Ghana served as two-time Minister of Information and so many other things. I just wanted us to look at. It's been long we've heard from Professor Jerry Ghana. I'm not sure that people our age will forget Professor Jerry Ghana in a hurry. Very flamboyant. He was an orator in the real sense of it. He used to say things like, if you're a teacher, you teach well. If you're whatever, you do well. If you're a journalist, if you're a communicator, you communicate well, and so many other things. Right from MAMSA, those days, before he came to the national scene as Minister of Information. Very, very flamboyant, Professor Jerry Ghana.
You see, there is no way we write the history of this country without giving General Babangida a good space. No doubt about that. You may... no matter what you think about that man, he has a space in history, national history. He brought Jerry Ghana, and during the era of MAMSA, that was communication at its peak. And our younger ones will not know what we are saying. And that is why I plead with Jerry Ghana, Professor Jerry Ghana, to put his thoughts.
Very important.
On paper. We need to read from him. He is no doubt a reservoir of national and intellectual knowledge. And we need him, now that he's around, to please put this in print so that our future generation will read some things about where we were coming from and how we are where we are and what we had passed through, and perhaps this will help the narrative. Quite many of our younger ones think that let us dabaru everything, and that is not the way to go.
Yes, and even even people in public service currently, they can learn a lot from him in terms of public speaking, in terms of information dissemination, and so many other things. A lot. We need to have that culture of putting down your experiences on paper. Very, very important. So that at the end of the day, just like you said, a lot of our young ones, so that they don't think that Nigeria started in 1999. A lot of people, young ones, when they talk about some kind of things, you begin to wonder, and you don't really blame them. Although, I don't know, but we need to put things down to encourage, and not just that, encourage our young ones to read.
Nothing compares with knowledge.
Knowledge, very, very. And we join the president in congratulating Professor Jerry Ghana on his 80th birthday. And we pray for good life and strength for him. Mr. Salami, I wish we could go on and on and on. A lot to talk about, but thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, that's our package on the show. The program returns tomorrow, 7 a.m., bright and early. Triple A is standing by.